known as Escopeta, fist punches that struck with the force of a 12-gauge shotgun. Carlos Monzon fought with the ferocity that belied the inner turmoil he grappled with outside the ring. This Argentine boxing legend, who reigned as an undisputed world middleweight champion for an astounding 7 years, channeled his personal demons into every bout. Competing like a man possessed, Monzon defended his title 14 times against 11 different challengers, cementing his legacy as one of the greatest middleweights in history and a pound-for-pound icon. With a fighting style characterized by ferocity, devastating power, and an unyielding work rate, he concluded his illustrious career with an impressive record of 87 wins, 3 losses, and 9 draws, including 59 knockouts. Monzon wasn't a fighter with tremendous athleticism, nor was he overwhelmingly fast, light on his feet, or the most naturally explosive. Yet, through efficient technique and a diverse arsenal at his disposal, he was a nightmare incarnated in the ring, dark shadow that loomed over his opponents. He prowled with the viciousness of a predator, ruthlessly stalking his prey, ready to strike with deadly precision. Monzon conquered the middleweight division, sowing chaos and leaving a trail of devastation in his wake. Carlos Monzon was the epitome of a boxer-puncher. His jab served as a crucial tool in his arsenal, maintaining the outside range, allowing him to capitalize on his reach. In the chaotic ballet of boxing, he orchestrated the jab to reveal cracks in his opponent's armor, seamlessly setting up his shotgun right cross, the most lethal punch in his repertoire. His method was marked with simplicity, devoid of flashiness and an eye-catching style. Monzon approached each fight like a patient hunter. He didn't rely on overwhelming aggression or play a strict defensive game. Instead, he operated with a calm demeanor, never actively hunting for the knockout. He had a nuanced approach. When he did let his hands go and become more aggressive, he was ruthless, showing a demon that emerged only when necessary.
C'est ça, c'est la boxe de Monzon habituellement. Il laisse la portée. Presque tous ses coups parviennent à destination. Et Carlos Monzon, du droit de Carlos Monzon, comme dit Moussé.
Towering at 6 feet, Monzon stood out as an imposing figure in the middleweight division. His long limbs gifted him an impressive 76-inch reach, allowing him to dictate the distance in the ring. For context, Triple G measured in at 70 inches, Charlo at 73, while the legendary Ali had a 78-inch reach, just 2 inches more than Monzon. Even Joe Louis shared his 76-inch reach. Monzon was a wizard at leveraging this advantage, employing a sharp, active jab to maintain separation and fluid movement, to constantly recalibrate the distance. Deftly managing space, he kept his opponents at a punching range, skillfully dictating the rhythm and flow of the bout without letting them breach his defensive perimeter.
7-8 fights. And if you're wondering what all that right challenger for round 5 from Monte Carlo, those long arms, and you find yourself getting hit by punches on the screen. Vascular body, like a tight coil spring, and he lets an inch stand toe-to-toe with Monzon, if you will. But Monzon will look at the way he
Está con la derecha. Está tratando de afirmarse en la distancia Monzon. Segundo round, reitero, buen.
Fear not the man who practices 10,000 punches. Fear the master who has perfected the same trio of strikes over 10,000 times. Monzon commanded a full arsenal, yet his offense elegantly revolved around the jab, cross, hook. Occasionally, he spiced up the potent combination with the surprise of an uppercut. But ultimately, he kept it simple with his 1-2-3. This seemingly straightforward combination flourished due to Monzon's rhythm, making every punch difficult to time. Intermittently, he'd alter the speed of his combinations, sometimes throwing a fast jab, hard cross, and quick left hook to reset himself back into position. Other times, he threw a fast jab, crossed to load his lead shoulder, before leveraging a thudding left hook with full rotation. Such mastery transformed the ordinary into the extraordinary.
Slightly distorted view. Oh, that's quite the way it's looked to me. Griffith in his familiar style.
But now obviously the corner have worked on him to get him. With you, Gil, this fellow Naples is fighting a smart fight now. He's tucking himself there. There's nothing phony about these two.
Next a minute. Valdez started to come in and then just sort of not working too hard. These guys have been around. Hot fighters, trunks are covered with writing. You cannot do.
Just like every other aspect of his craft, Monzon embraced the elegance of simplicity in his footwork. There were no frantic steps or intricate angles. Instead, he mastered the art of moving forward and backward. His opponents often found themselves charging at him due to being kept at bay, only to find themselves swinging at air. As they lunged in, Carlos would lean back and pull out the pocket, letting the punches slip past him by mere inches. Watching every move with the hawk's eye, dancing off the back foot allowed him to throw punches from unexpected angles, catching opponents off guard. By harnessing the forward momentum against them, Monzon amplified the force of the counters, turning simplicity into a lethal weapon. Fighting Monzon was a chaotic affair. Few, if any, managed to capitalize on sustained success when facing him. With his constant motion, woven with punches, establishing an offensive rhythm became nearly impossible, as every attempt was thwarted before it had a chance to gain momentum. This approach restricted opponents to single punches. It's a true rarity to witness Monzon permitting an opponent to enjoy extended stretches of effective offense against him.
Jose Napoles.
You just have to watch this man. A few rounds of watching Monzon and you're convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that to stand away, use his height, use his advantage, jab, keep him off balance as he's doing now.
Not to allow you any breathing room at all. Here he comes in, a good left hook. Of course, that devastating right hand given a little warning by the referee. To punch with a right cross to the chin and then repeated jabs, keeping the challenger off balance.
But he was coming forward, although he was taking terrific beating as he was coming in. Just hanging in as long.
In the 101 fights, Monzon was never stopped and KO'd over half his opponents. Though frequently heralded as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, middleweights in boxing history, I believe Carlos Monzon remains somewhat underappreciated. His subtle demeanor and unadorned style often keep him out of the spotlight, as many overlook the brilliance of his efficiency and the remarkable range of his techniques. It certainly doesn't do him any favors that much of his films are low quality and are out of touch with modern standards. Those who fail to perceive the nuances of his game miss out on understanding how Monzon's no-nonsense approach and undefeated dominance of the middleweight division propelled him to an impressive 14 title defenses, securing his rightful place in the hallowed halls of the International Boxing Hall of Fame.
Public l'abandonné alors qu'il était le boxeur le plus populaire.
One of the most durable middleweights you'll ever see.